Okay, welcome to IPLCast 24, reporting to you from the slightly rain-drenched and now sunny as all hell um, uh, region of Australia known as Sydney. As usual, this is your IPL admin, uh, Kamata, aka ReverseG, aka Gino, and joining me is Rowan,
Hi
aka Megan.
guys. Yay.
It's
We're
been a
late.
miserable week. We're late, and also it's been a miserable week. I mean, people watching
Yes.
this after the broadcast won't think that they're late, like we're late. But
No, we're just late right now. But when you watch this
yeah,
during the usual time, we'll actually be early.
yeah. We'll be right on time as far as they're
Yeah,
concerned,
we're,
unless you
we're,
hit
we're
the
we're a
pause
good
button.
3 hours early, Gino.
Yeah, I know it's amazing. Um, so yeah, if you're patiently waiting on our YouTube thing, or didn't actually read the thing, we were hosting it a bit early. But yeah, um, it's been a miserable week over here.
Jesus. Crazy storms.
Oh man.
3 solid days of rain. It did not stop once until like the end of Wednesday.
Okay, let me tell you how bad it was. It got so bad that my aunt, who lives in the Philippines, sent me a message going, I heard about the weather there. Are you okay? I'm like, isn't that my
Oh,
line?
dear. Yeah. It got really bad though. I think a fair few places near Sydney flooded so badly that there were photos and footage of houses just flowing along the New River.
That's
Whole
actually, yeah,
houses.
there was it was in rural New South
Mm,
Wales. There was a house that was floating down the river. I'm like, oh man. Is that
mm.
what it's for? Is that why it's raised? So in the event of a flood, instead of, getting drenched, it just goes with the flow.
Mm.
But the
You need to make sure that your foundation can float.
it got so bad that our workplace basically told everyone to go home at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday,
Mm,
which I wasn't there for because
mm. I
I caught a bit
think
of a
it
fever on
ended
Tuesday.
up, I think the storm ended up being declared a natural disaster. It was that
This
bad.
is this is this is of course coming from the current government, which itself is a natural disaster. Um, Bam! I didn't vote
Ah.
for them. It's okay. Um, all right.
Oh dear. I have to agree.
Okay. We've got a fair few. Wow, we've got a fair few external headlines to go through, and also quite a bit of IPL news to cover in about an hour. And we will try and cover this in an hour. So we'll see how we go. Let's get ahead. Let's go ahead and start with our first external headline, which is Hoop
Okay, so
Unbound.
all these headlines, first off, are just a little bit of a mess because we did this last minute again, like idiots. But anyway, Hooper Unbound. Hooper's Unbound form has been revealed in April's edition of Cora Cora magazine. Hooper transforms into its Unbound counterpart through the use of the prison bottle, though it has not been revealed exactly how. It is believed Hooper will then maintain its unbound form for 3 days or until deposited into the PC. So that's an interesting mechanic. I don't think any other Pokemon is like that. Hooper Unbound is a psychic dark type, just like Inkay, Malamar, and Bryson Man from Pokestar Studios. However, Hooper Unbound is the only Pokemon who is first type psychic, as the previously mentioned are first type dark. Hooper will not be available in-game and instead will be attained via Nintendo event, apparently in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire rather than X and Y. A new trailer for the Hooper movie called Hooper and the Clash of Ages in English shows the legendaries fighting in a city while people run screaming, which reminds me of the Jurassic Park movie, but with more dinosaurs and explosions.
You
As
haven't
the
seen
trailer
it. You
shows,
haven't seen the new trailer for Jurassic World yet, have you?
no, I have not. Not not
There are
not,
more.
not the new one. I think it was the third one where the Tyrannosaurus Rex got in like taken to the city and he's just sort of rampaging a bit at
That
one
was the
point.
second one.
It's like that. Second one? Okay, so it was the second one. It's like that, but with more dinosaurs and explosions. So
Okay,
the
no, this
trailer
one has.
shows
This one takes place. Like the new one, takes place in a theme park filled with dinosaurs.
I
Like
have not
like
seen it. And I feel a
like a
little
SeaWorld.
worried because Jurassic Park is great, but I should actually have a look at it.
There's a Lego
But
title
anyway,
coming out. It's justifiably awesome now. All right, anyway.
Anyway, as the trailer shows, Palkia, Giratina, Dialga, Primal Groudon, and Primal Kyogre are terrorizing the city, and Hooper summons Latios, Latios, Lugia, and Rayquaza to help them. Rayquaza at one point decides to use Hyper Beam. Messily. It was super effective. Finally, when Ash touches the prison bottle, he gets possessed, which looks very interesting. I might actually watch this movie.
Are
The
you just
drama queen in
watching it
me is
because you
tickled.
want to see? Yeah, I'm like, do you just want to watch this because he gets possessed, or
Yes,
because
it
so
looks
much?
really cool, okay? Shut up. The animation's really good and it looks really cool, alright?
I was about to say, it's like, there's got to
Leave
be
me alone.
some there's got to be one motivation for you to watch this.
Leave me
There
alone,
has to
okay?
be. Yeah.
Where? I like drama in my stories, okay?
Okay.
But anyway,
Um,
it actually looks pretty good. I might actually watch this one. If not for the drama, but because of all the legendaries. And I noticed that Ho-Ho has been left out again, even though Lugia is in this. This isn't even a movie about Lugia, which would explain why Ho-Ho was left out. This is a movie that has Lugia in it, but not Ho-Ho. Ho-Ho gets no
don't,
love.
don't you wish Ho was in it? Is a pun.
Okay.
No, it really is. Anyway, the you'll get that after the cast. The What's
Okay.
surprising to me is that the Hoopa trailer showed on, and I'm going complete meta here, just talking outside the movie scope in general. The fact that the trailer aired in Ohasta instead of, say, Pokemon Sunday or something like that is really weird. I usually expect them to reveal these crazy exclusives during the Sunday Pokemon program.
Mm.
Here we are with the here we are with the trailer showing in what seems to be a different program. I might be wrong. I remember Ohasta being a completely different non-Pokemon related show, but I could be completely wrong.
Mm.
Um, Now, there is a chance that Village Roadshow is going to show this in Australia. What are you going to do when the tickets come out?
If it's easy to get to, I might actually check this out.
It's probably Parramatta or the Village Roadshow in Sydney's George Street, which is just off Town
That's not
Hall.
too bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see if I can. I might actually get a ticket this one. I haven't watched any of the new movies since. I think the last one I watched was with Lucario, and then I just haven't seen any of the other ones.
The last one I watched in the cinema was the last one I remember properly being in the cinema, which was
I have never watched them in a cinema. I've never had the chance.
I watched
I think I've
Pokemon
only ever watched them
2000.
with video or DVD.
I watched Pokemon 2000, and because I
I got
watched
the
it
DVD.
during a matinee on a school day, I like my collection had so many ancient Mew cards. Those are awesome. They're not tournament legal, but I don't care. They're in the movie.
Yes, yes, they are.
So yeah, it's. I reckon it's going to be good to see it in the cinema. How would you feel though when you walk into the cinema and you realize that, like, 80% of the people watching with you are either a third or half your age?
I've already resigned to this fact. I think every over 18 Pokemon fan has already accepted the fact that there are going to be more kids at the events that they go to for Pokemon than there would be adults, except for the regionals and the nationals and all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll get
That's
to the
mostly
regionals and
adults.
we'll get to the regionals in a bit.
Yes. But that is
But
probably the exception to the rule that there will be more kids than anyone else.
I guess it's the way they do the camera work in Japan. But most of the stuff I see regarding like the TCG or the VGC in
Mm,
Japan is focused on kids. Probably they keep wanting to emphasize that fact
I think so, yeah.
that they have a larger juniors division than the rest of us.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, because usually the kids the kids who would be usually joining the juniors here, right? Um,
Mm.
some of them are playing games that, by law, they shouldn't have access to.
Mm,
And quite a few of them are just playing crap-ass shovelware instead of really good stuff like Pokemon.
mm.
So anyway, let's go to the new Hiroshima Pokemon Center.
Okay, new Hiroshima Pokemon Center. A new Pokemon Center is opening in Hiroshima, Japan, located in Isogo Hiroshima Shop's main building on the 6th floor. The store mascots are a Pikachu and a shiny Gyarados, and brings Japan's total number of Pokemon centers to 8, as opposed to Australia that has 0. Or do we have
Yeah,
1?
and no, we have 0, and
We had a
America has
temporary one in Sydney for like 2 weeks or something like
yeah.
that, and then
What is it? America has 1, but it's co-opted with the Nintendo World Store. So if we ever make it to New York, that's pretty much where I'm going to beeline towards. Apparently, Tacoma, Washington has a Pokemon vending machine.
we have a lot of the little Gashapon machines.
No, not that. Like vending machine. Proper, I can buy the games here. I can buy the plushies here. I can buy
Ah,
like TCG decks and booster packs here. Vending
that's
machine.
cool.
Yeah. I am trying to figure out now where the Sogo Hiroshima main building is. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can see it. Yep. I definitely want to definitely want to go there. I reckon the way my relatives are going, they're gonna ask me to go there sooner rather than later.
Mm,
Speaking of which, we haven't sent our bank details to our plucky little friend in Yamaguchi Prefecture. Um,
mm.
so as soon as I find out how to pay him, we're gonna make him go to is the Pokemon Center in Fukuoka still open?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
I haven't been there in
Oh,
a while.
I don't think you've been there ever.
No, no, I have not.
Pokemon Center in Fukuoka. I know where it is too. Okay, cool. Um, we're sending him to shop for stuff.
I'm
We're basically like invading
just
his
gonna
personal
send him
life.
about $300 and tell him to bring it back.
Bring it back nothing. He will ship it.
Mm.
He will ship it and he will love it. Okay. Anyway, we should pay him for the job as well because
I
the whole
think
thing.
we technically are.
All right. Okay. No, I mean like give him
We're gonna pay
money for
him to
doing.
buy us stuff for free.
Yes. Yes, that's what we're
Yes.
doing. All right. Next headline. No Mega
Next
Flygon.
headline. No Mega Flygon. In the official Nintendo Dream magazine, an interview with Game Freak's Ken Sugimori, Shigeru Omori, which is the ORAS game director, Shigeki Morimoto, the game developer, and Kazumasa Iwao, which is the ORAS map designer, revealed that the reason why Mega Flygon doesn't already exist is because the artist in charge of drawing it couldn't think up a design. This suggests that should they finally come up with a design they're happy with, Mega Flygon might appear in the next Pokemon game.
I'm glad to I'm glad to know, or I'm glad to find out that even large multinational, multi-billion corporations have artists block. Um,
I
it
feel
happens.
like I feel like we should call DA to put these guys to shame by making up Mega Flygon designs. Then we can see which one's
Yeah,
the cool. But then we can
I think
send it to
it's.
Nintendo and tell them, how about this?
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, okay, what's the record of Nintendo adopting an idea that fans have sent
Nah,
in?
I honestly don't think it would work, but it would be funny if DA could come up with a better Mega Flygon design than they could.
DA probably could. I mean, they've come up with some spectacular designs for all of the like, mega designs for all of the Pokemon in the
Mm.
decks. Um, I want to see a
I'm
Mega
gonna Google
Ditto.
this.
Oh, I'm looking for a Mega Ditto now.
Deviant art. Mega Flygon. See what we've
See,
got.
I can see a Mega Ditto. It's horrible,
Some of
but
these are pretty good.
I could see drawings for Mega Ditto, and basically it's a Ditto with multiple faces on it.
Ditto Trio.
Yeah, Mega. They've basically drawn Ditto in the colors of the Mega Evolution spectrum with the DNA symbol in the middle. Anywho, okay.
If a Ditto, hang on, if a Ditto uses Transform on a Mega Evolution, do they become the Mega Evolution or do they become the regular one?
Actually, good question. If Ditto uses Transform on a yeah,
It does?
yeah, apparently.
Wow.
Hold on. Ditto. Generation 6. The user will transform into Mega Evolved Pokemon and maintain the form regardless of whether or not it holds a required Mega Stone. And it has no effect on the restriction that only allows each player one Mega Evolution per battle.
So you could have like 6 Ditto and each of them could be a Mega Evolution.
Well, you could have 6 Ditto and they will Mega Evolve to whatever the Mega Evolved thing is that they're coming up against. Or you could have a you could have a Ditto that transforms into the Mega Evolved form of the Pokemon they're fighting and have a actual Pokemon holding a Mega Stone somewhere else in your party.
It seems
you
like
will
if it's
essentially
done... So Ditto doesn't take on the power of the Pokemon it's copying, does it?
I think it just copies the form.
Yeah. It copies the form and the types and the attacks, and I think that's it. It doesn't actually have the power.
It'll copy the form, the type. It will copy all the moves, but they will only have 5 PP each, I think. No, hold on, no. Same move set, copy of the target. I think it does the I think it maintains. It copies because I know it copies it either copies IVs or something of the matter.
Does it?
Because like the Ditto does, yeah. Because I remember
you can
Ditto
give
transforming
Ditto
into
its own IVs and EVs.
I know. I remember Ditto transforming into a basically a really weak a set of 2 Ditto. One went down really quickly. The other one transformed into a Chestnut and just tanked it. And it seems really abnormal for like for that. Doesn't copy the target's catch rate. It'll copy the form of whatever it sees. It will it'll retain its original species for boosting by stat enhancing items.
Okay, so that Ditto specific item would still work.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the
I don't know if it copies PP. Like for like if it's been given a PP max or something.
I think it'll copy it across.
What?
Yeah, look, this is clearly outside of the scope for
Are you looking at Bulbapedia?
I'm looking across several
What
things. I mean, this is
copy.
okay. 5 PP ups do not increase the limit, I think. I will have to look this up. I'm really interested to see what the parameters are. I don't use a Ditto at all.
I know, but I've always wanted to because they seem cool, but they're very difficult to handle because you can't control what Pokemon you'd have essentially, aside from like minor stuff.
I just realized that it'll just be a weaker version of whatever it comes up against on the tournament circuit. So, I mean, if you learn to play it strategically, you could actually use Ditto.
Ditto copies every stat other than HP. I'm just
Wow.
looking it up. Okay, so Ditto uses the move Transform to copy the opponent's move, types, form, and non-HP stats. Huh. So if you
Okay.
if you got a Ditto with perfect IV HP, and then dumped as many EVs as you can into HP, you should have a pretty decent Ditto since it'll copy all the other stats.
Yeah.
So, for example, if your opponent was a Lucario with 2/5/2 EVs in attack, blah blah blah, Ditto would copy the Pokemon's exact stats except the HP stat, so it too would also have 3/2. Hang on, 3/2/0 in attack, so it would also have 3/2/0 in attack. Blah, blah, blah. Because Ditto copies the opposing Pokemon stats except HP, it's pointless to EV train Ditto in anything but HP. Recommended moveset for Ditto. Ditto with Choice Scarf, ability Imposter, which is the hidden ability. Nature doesn't matter. EVs 2/5/2 into HP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moves will all have 5 PP.
Yeah, that's the only problem, is that the limitation.
Yeah.
But 5 PP in a 5 PP in a tournament round gets you a long way.
Imposter
5
does
PP
not
in
copy its opponent's IVs for the purpose of hidden power or gender. Huh.
Okay. That's understandable, I guess. Because like hidden power would still rely on the hidden power would rely on will copy off the Ditto, I guess. But hey, it's a really neat way to turn somebody over in a battle.
So if you can get a Ditto with all perfect IVs, then it doesn't matter whether or not it copies the IVs because you've already got max anyway.
Correct. So you just spend
So
your
that's
time.
really hard to get a Ditto like that, though.
Yeah, you basically focus on just getting a Ditto that's you get the perfect IV Dittos for breeding. You get the 1 HP the max HP IV Ditto for battle. If you
But
ever
if it's
use
looking
it.
like you don't copy the Pokemon's IVs, then you're gonna want a Ditto with at least really high IVs in all the other stats. Because even if you copy the opponent Pokemon's EVs, their IVs are going to be extra boosts. So your Ditto is going to be still weaker unless it has the same, or if not close, IVs. So you'd want a Ditto with perfect HP IV and then high IVs in the rest of them.
Yeah, it's got low base stats though, which limits its ability. So that's the limitation on it.
Yeah.
All right, shall we go to the next headline, because we've been kind of settling a lot about Ditto.
Yeah, so it was just really interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, new Pokemon Rumble World passwords. So North America gets a ton of new Pokemon Rumble World passwords. Anyone from there or has their 3DS set to that region will be able to access them. So we've just actually looked this up, and apparently all these passwords for Pokemon Rumble have been being released for quite a while now.
Yeah, so
I've
only put in like 2 European passwords, and I didn't realize they've got like 10 up on the list that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
9
I'm not sure if
for
I've got the one open now. Where is my? I've got Pokemon Rumble.
I'm looking at Pokemon Rumble World, and I'm looking at the European passwords because that's what we're set to. So I can see 9 of them.
Yeah, I've got the wrong file open, which is a pity. So you tell us what Pokemon are available.
All right, for North America, you've got Pancham, Smeargle, Doublade, Klefki, Togepi, Litleo, Hawlucha, Noibat, the small Pumpkaboo, Slowbro, and Zoroark. For Europe, you have exactly the. Oh no, you've got a different set. You don't have Togepi. You have Pancham, Smeargle, Doublade, Klefki, Halucha, Noibat, Pumpkaboo, Slowbro, and Zoroark. So Europe gets the bad end of the stick again. And Japan gets Eevee, Chansey, Pikachu, Piplup, Chespin, Inkay, Turtwig, Fennekin, Meowth, Torchic, and Riolu. That doesn't look that impressive. And most of those are, well, yeah, the majority of them actually have Superstar as the ability.
Yeah, Superstar's cool.
Yeah,
it's completely useless, but it's cool.
For most of the stuff that North America and Europe have gotten, we've gotten those from the official site and Twitter. In Japan, slightly harder. You had to get the EV during the Nika Nika stream. Pokemon Daisuki Club gave you the Chansey, and you have to go to the different Pokemon centers to grab the different Pokemon. There's one each for the different ones, and then you can get Riolu as a second in all of them. So there you go. Kind of insane, the methods you have to go through. But then again, they get like, you get crazy amounts of Street Pass hits a day. So I'm not, I'm totally not jealous. Nope. Okay. All right. So that's, if you haven't played Pokemon Rumble World yet, play it. It's really good. It's an amazingly good title.
Yeah.
It is an amazingly good title. I'm really surprised that it's fairly dull and repetitive at times, but if you're kind of like the pick up and play gamer instead of the binge player,
if you're the sort of person that plays Pokemon purely to collect them all, you're gonna love this game, because that is literally what it is.
Yeah, I know. That's why I play Pokemon. So this thing has me. This thing has me by the balls.
Yeah.
At least it did until Street Pass Fishing and Street Pass Zombies came out, which is, by the way, update your 3DSs, because those two Street Pass games are now available and they're at a discount if you've bought that first bundle, the one that came with was it Street Pass Battle? Yeah, Street Pass Battle, Street Pass
Battle, Mansion, and the one with the plants.
Street Pass Garden.
Yes.
And Street Pass Squad.
Yes.
Okay, now here's my little big problem. My oddball problem. They're called something else in the US. Yeah, they're let's see. I'm trying to find the actual games here. So here we go. All right. So there are 6 games. They're called Street Pass something in Europe and Australia. I believe the Street Pass Puzzle Quest is Puzzle Pass or something like that. Let me check. Puzzle Swap. So it's called. I think it's called Puzzle Swap here too.
Something like that. Yeah.
Street Pass Quest is called Find Me.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. Find
Seems
Me as
lame.
an M-I. Find Me as an M-I-I. Find Me. Let's see.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's still pretty lame though. I think Street Pass Quest is cooler.
And then Street Pass Squad is called. Hold on. Yeah, Puzzle Swap's exactly the same in both regions. Street Pass Quest / Find Me. Street Pass Squad / Me Force, MII. Street Pass Garden / Flower Town. Street Pass Mansion / Monster Manor. Monster Manor kind of sounds good though. Street Pass Fishing / Ultimate Angler. And Street Pass Zombies / Battleground Z.
Okay.
Because, apparently zombies have taken over the Z thing. So if you add Z to anything, it has zombies.
Yeah.
Street Pass Fishing is great, though. It's basically Sega bass fishing.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
I think I'm just going to double check on this. Yep, Yuji Naka designed Street Pass Fishing. And for those of you who don't know who Yuji Naka is, he's a guy you might know from Sega. He's worked on Sega Bass Fishing. He's also the lead programmer of the original Sonic the Hedgehog. So
Ah,
yeah, it's kind of got that caliber on it. Yeah,
cool.
have fun with that. Apparently, what's her name? Coraline in Street Pass Fishing
Mm,
is now the new waifu.
okay.
I was just browsing Tumblr one day and I'm like, oh no, they found another one.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the Pokemon Music Pokédex.
Pokemon Music Pokédex. So this is an app that so far has been announced for Japan, though no release date has been released. So essentially, the app will allow you to purchase Pokemon music from the games from Pokemon Red and Green onwards. So that's pretty much all of them. The app is free with 3 tracks, but you can have additional tracks purchased for 120 yen a piece. So I don't know what that would translate. What does that translate?
120 yen, about
120 yen.
$1.
Sounds like it.
Yep, keep
About
like
$1.
yep, keep chatting and I'll look it up.
Okay. So
I'm
anyway,
doing a
you
currency
can
conversion.
play the tracks as much as you want. You can loop them. The app will have its own interface and looks like a classic Pokédex. It also allows you to put in sound effects of Pokeballs, Pokemon cries, or item use during the play of music. You can have the Pokemon music run endlessly. Yeah. So it's essentially released. It's going to be released for Android, so it'll be on your phone. But so far, just Japan has been announced for it, I think.
Yeah.
Over about there.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get the conversion. Yeah, but it's currently um it's currently Japan only.
Yeah.
All
They
of the
will bring
apps
it out elsewhere, I imagine.
all of the apps that have been released by Pokemon for use in like iOS so far have
Mm.
been utterly crap.
It's mostly Pokédex, though, which the Pokédex app is pretty good if you think about it.
Have you used the Pokedex? No, not the Pokedex app on 3DS. I'm talking about the Pokedex app on like iPhone and iPad, and that's great.
I know.
If I
Pretty sure we
remember
got
though,
one.
yeah, if I remember though,
Got it.
the it only came with Gen 5 Pokemon, and you had to pay upwards of like $15 for each
Oh,
each main game set. Yeah,
that's
it
pretty bad.
it got expensive. Okay, so it turns
Did
out
you
that
buy all of
a
them?
no, I just got Johto.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
turns out that the 120 yen translates to about $1.30
Okay, that's not too bad.
Australian. Yeah,
If that's for each
44.
track, though, depending on how many tracks, this could be a bit of a money sink because there are a
It's a,
lot of
it's
Pokemon tracks to go on.
about $1 a track US. And
Mm.
considering that when I bought the X and Y soundtrack, there were 251 tracks.
Yeah.
So this is
Hmm.
depending on what they release. They could just release high quality versions of select loops, not all of them, because the 251 tracks also included the interstitials. Like I have the your Pokemon have healed at the Pokemon Center sound effect in there, because that's an
Hmm.
interstitial. It's part of the the sonic language of the game.
I wonder if they would offer like packs for cheaper. Because if they're offering like $1 a track and is just 250 of them in one game alone, that
I
will end up being a massive money sink.
I want them to release the gym. I mean, they've already released it in. I think they've already released the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire soundtrack. So I'm
Mm,
probably going to ignore this app altogether and get myself the track that plays during the track that plays during gym leader battles, or was that X and
mm.
Y? One or the other. They, if you remember this, like if you remember the way the soundtrack sounds, it's so there's so much pumping going on in terms of the BPM.
You know what sounds great? The battle music for Arceus.
Yeah, you know
That
what
was
doesn't
great.
sound
That was
great?
drums. That was amazing.
The battle music versus that pale weakling near Victory Road. What's his face?
Wally? Is
Was
that
it
his
Wally?
name? I think it was Wally.
Yeah, I didn't like the music there. It was kind of like it feels like it's like,
I
oh
missed
great,
out on a really good opportunity because I didn't have the God of War item, my God of War at that point, and he brought out like a Mega Gallade, and I thought this would have been so cool if I had like a battle between Mega Gallade and Mega God of War, and I fucked up.
doesn't he show up again with like the Gallade?
Yeah, I did it then, but I was still really disappointed. It
So
was a
hold
missed
on,
opportunity.
because you can battle him in
I know, but the
um
thing is, it was for that battle, you know, just the way it was framed and all that stuff. I really wish I, because like all of the all of the action and stuff, all the emotion and build up, it's not in any other battles you have with him from that point onwards. It's just
oh
for that
well,
battle. I really wish I had Mega
you
God of War.
squandered that
I
chance.
know. I ended up having to use Mega Pidgeot.
Yeah.
That was about it. I was really just so disappointed.
All right. Final non-IPL headline before we rush into IPL news is
Okay, final one.
Sydney
Sydney
Regionals.
Regionals concluded. Last week, Team IPL was at the Sydney VGC Regionals, where Yana was finally convinced to begin her 2016 campaign of glory. Oh, dear.
Yep.
The competition was fierce and wildly varied for the junior and senior levels of play, but Team IPL thinks that the final battle came down to whoever could get their Therian-form Landorus and Heatran into play first, making it a bit dull. It was quite. We were also a bit surprised to learn that a national trainer stable existed within Australia. Within the next few weeks, we hope to bring you a short video that followed the progress of one of Sydney's better contenders. He did pretty good.
I know he did really well. Look, the only reason he
Mm.
didn't make it through was because of the way the Swiss round calculated itself. But he would have made it.
Mm.
He was aiming for top card. He almost made it. So
Mm.
we were following a friend of mine, somebody we had met in the 2013 regionals. He had like really put himself into like playing this tournament. He did amazingly well until round 5.
Mm.
And then he went up against the guy who would eventually win the tournament, Daniel Pohl. And I think if he kept his form up and didn't flutter during the round immediately after, he would have made it top card, guaranteed.
Mm.
He would have made it top card. But he himself admits that he really regrets losing that. He choked
Mm.
and did a misread. So, I mean, better luck next time. Well done on the CP. But yeah, we'll
Mm.
see how he does the rest of the year. And you're doing your 2016 campaign.
Look, I'm gonna try. I'm not very good at this whole competitive battling thing. Like, I've been researching it and I've been thinking up a few good strategies, but I just don't think I'm being thorough enough, and I don't think I understand everything to do with it well enough that I'm
I
going to
don't
get
think you
very
have to be
far at all.
thorough enough. I mean, like a lot of it is honing your skill in battle as well, being able to read an opponent, like looking
I
at the
can't
two
even beat
Pokemon.
you. I can't even beat you in a battle.
Yeah, I
We
know.
should
It's
actually, if you go to I think it's Smogon University or something, like one of those top tier ones where they actually have battle simulator thing where you can fight people online through this setup. So you can choose your own Pokemon, you can choose the stats you want, all that cool stuff, and then you can fight with that specific team. So you can test battle strategies without actually having to breed the Pokemon first, because that can take a long time just to get a decent set. So like we
Yeah.
should actually do that, and then I can see if I can beat you with anything that I've learned so far. That'd be fun. Because otherwise I'd have to fight strangers, and some of them just like you can actually watch people's battles. They have a list of all the active ones currently going on. And you can actually watch people fight. It's very interesting. But some of them I think are just doing it for fun rather than for competitive play. Because obviously that's
I
a
know,
really
but
cool
it's
medium
like
for battling.
yeah, you should see how it goes as well. I mean, like I was looking at the report, and this is Pokemon Australia does a really good job of providing us with post tournament reports. So that's really great.
Mm.
Didn't realize. I think Nugget Bridge, which live streams these battles, you can look it up. You can watch it. Like you can watch it later on after this cast, but Nugget Bridge gives you commentary as well, just to help you get into
I
the
know.
cycle of learning
But
how
like
this thing.
just naturally, I am actually a really bad strategist. So I can't imagine I'm gonna do all that well at all.
You don't need to be a good strategist. You need to be a good tactician.
I'm not a good tactician.
Okay.
I can plan ahead like maybe 1 or 2 moves, and that's about it. I can only
Um,
read in the moment, and even then, it's just I'm bad at it.
what is it? Um, saw Kangaskhan, like Mega Kangaskhan, like everywhere.
Mm.
Saw
Apparently, the most
Heatran.
popular Pokemon for like top tier level tournament play is Mega Kangaskhan, Therian Form Landorus, and is it Therian Form Thundurus or just regular
No,
Thundurus?
regular.
Regular Thundurus. So if you've got those 3 Pokemon, you are a top tier masterclass.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
just if you have those 3 Pokemon, it's if you can
Those
use
other
them.
3 Pokemon that you see, apparently those determine whether or not you win. Like those both of the finalists for the masterclass division had those 3 Pokemon. Oh, and Heatran. So Kangaskhan,
No,
Heatran, and
the second
Thundurus and
placer
Landorus.
didn't have a Mega Kangaskhan.
They didn't have a Kangaskhan, but those are pretty much the Pokemon.
Yeah.
So those are pretty much the Pokemon that people would use to win those top tier battles, just because of what these Pokemon can do. And so, like, if everyone sticks to that stock standard, it kind of gets very boring, which is why we reckon
Yeah, but
the
this is
masterclass
the
battles are
beauty
rather
of the
dull.
metagame
But
is
like
this is
the senior
the beauty
final battle
the,
and and the junior final battle were actually pretty interesting because they had different Pokemon and it got really close at the end. It was great.
yeah, but they still used Mega Salamence plus Defender strategy. So
Yeah. Oh,
it's not as
they're gonna have some of the known strategies, but it was still a lot more interesting. You know.
did you say strategy? Um did you
Shut up, strategy.
okay. The thing about the thing about the seniors and the juniors, where the juniors play mostly for fun. The juniors don't care. It's
I
so
know.
cool to watch the juniors because watching the juniors are basically just watching a bunch of kids getting into a fight without punching each other. Um, and isn't that what entertainment is all about? Uh,
Yeah.
but the like it's fun to watch the juniors. The seniors are more well rounded. We saw like Washer Rotom
Mm.
out in play. That was nuts. We saw Aegislash for the first time since the Worlds. There was an
Mm.
Aegislash, so that was really interesting.
Aegislash is a
Um,
little bit more difficult to use in double battles, I find.
yeah, but weakness policy.
Mm. Yeah.
Weakness policy becomes really, really crucial when you're. I mean, you've seen how this guy used an Aegislash in battle. It is nuts how he used
Mm.
it in battle. Like he just got a really crap break. And Ferrothorn as well. He this guy
Yeah,
Bill
that was
McCavitt.
interesting to see. I really don't see Ferrothorn that much.
Yeah, but I mean, Clefairy is in the metagame.
Clefairy's a
Um,
fun one because you use it for Follow Me, which can really mess someone up. Although I
the
feel like you should use Togekiss for Follow Me because Togekiss has better defense, like both defenses than Clefairy, which means it can take more hits.
Yeah, doesn't Togekiss have a flying? Isn't Togekiss a flying subtype?
It is though, yeah. So I
Yeah,
suppose it would have
that's
more
the,
weaknesses.
whereas Clefairy I think is a pure fairy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it is now. Yeah.
single type. Yeah, usually um, single type Pokemon that can use that ability are more functional than dual type.
What
Um,
would be best is if you had the Pachirisu with Magnet Rise, which actually removes its one and only weakness. So if you want to
yeah,
go with type advantage, the Pachirisu with Follow Me would actually be the best idea.
would okay, and that's why we have world champion Pachirisu.
Yes.
So the thing about the thing about the Landorus Heatran metagame though is that this only lasts for about 8 or 9 months. By the time you get to nationals, the strategy is going to be modified or different. People are going to figure out a way to overcome Heatran and Landorus. Otherwise,
Mm.
the state of play would stagnate. It's been the case. They figured out a way to get past Kangaskhan Aegislash. They figured out a way to get past whatever the combination was before that.
Mm.
The metagame will figure out a way to overcome what's currently there. That
Mm.
means, for the most part, that you will reach a point where battles look dull, for a set part of the year. But the cool thing about that is that essentially you've reached critical mass. You're going to reach the point where people start picking different strategies. The guy who came in fourth
Mm.
for the Masters sported a team of Mega Gengar, Amoonguss, Politoed, Seadra, Scrafty, and Gothitelle.
Yeah, that Gothitelle was really cool. You know what it did? It used, like, this Gothitelle had its hidden ability Shadow Tag, which means no Pokemon can leave the battle even if the Gothitelle is defeated. So it's essentially like Arena Trap, but even if you get rid of the Gothitelle, everyone's stuck there. And then the Gothitelle used Perish Song. And 3 turns later, all of them died.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing.
It was really cool.
It's a deliberate suicide play. But I reckon it was designed to actually get them to to
It
knock,
was
because
really clever though, because it brought both of them down to just 2 Pokemon each instead of
but
4.
that
So
was a
it
good
really evened out the battlefield if he lost one.
for most of the tournament. The key to that thing was the read would always be that he would, or the opponent would be putting out a really strong duo to begin with. So it's your 2 strongest at the beginning. You would have a Mega Kangaskhan out there. You would have a Heatran
Look,
or
all
a
he would
Landorus
have
if
needed
you
to
wanted
do,
to get it started.
if he used Perish Song with this Gothitelle, all he would have needed to do is make sure that both of them had decent enough defense that they could take the hits from. So say, as you said, the opponent's 2 Pokemon would have been his strongest at first. All he had to do was take all the hits for 3 turns. They would have died, and then he would have been able to bring out his 2 strongest against the opponent's 2 weaker Pokemon.
But like I said, that was the read. But when it
Yeah.
came to the third match because it came down to 1-1. When it came down to the match to the semifinals, he misread badly on turn 1, because he was facing, it's a great strategy unless you're doing a best of 3, in which case it becomes a horrible strategy because the gambit fails.
The strategy would have done him all the way up until the semifinals, because until then it was just a 1 battle
You
round.
didn't know who.
So
You
that
didn't
would have
know what
worked
he was gonna.
perfectly for him. It's just that he needed a different strategy for the semifinals and the finals, because those are the ones that are 3 battles
And
determined.
he went 7-1 in 8 rounds of Swiss. It's like I can't remember who he lost to, but that was a misread as well. That's your failure, like the big failure in the strategy here, or the big failure in the tactics here, is if you do a misread. But if you
Mm.
can coax him to bring his two out and then launch this thing anyway, you've got them. They're stuck for 3 turns. They're just gonna thrash about.
Mm. The best they can do once they've been perished on like that is to try and get rid of his 2 Pokemon quickly enough that they can start wailing on the other 2 before they lose their first 2 and have to bring out the others, just so that they would then still have somewhat of an advantage, like health-wise.
Yeah, I reckon though that because this guy came up against I can't remember anymore. Did this guy come up against Chiron? Um,
Yeah, I think he did
yeah,
at one point.
Chiron went completely undefeated the entire tournament. So
Yeah,
um,
apparently he was the guy.
yeah,
He was the guy that was going to
he
win.
is the state's
Yeah.
strongest trainer. He's also a member of that national stable I was telling you about of trainers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Delphox Cubs had people come up from Melbourne, had people come down from Queensland, had people come across from Perth to participate in the Sydney regionals, which kind of
Mm.
peeves me off. But at the same time, it's really it's really great to see top tier talent. But what is it? Some of their lower tier members went down 4-3 early on. You had a bunch of guys. I think you had two people from. You essentially had two people from Delphox coming up at top card.
Mm.
And that is insane. If you've got a stable of say 5-6 people, and you get a third of your guys up to top card, that speaks to the quality of the teams. But that still peeves me off because it's the Sydney Regionals. I want to see people from
Mm.
Sydney, damn it. Like I'm
Mm.
glad he
Mm.
won. He's got his ticket. Um, I think it's paid accommodation to the Nationals wherever the hell that is. Um, so that's really great. If the
It'll
Nationals happen,
probably be in Melbourne.
I know it's
Melbourne.
probably. Do you want to go to
Yeah.
Melbourne? I asked this question during
I
the regional.
I know, but I don't. Look, we'll try, but like it is expensive.
Yeah, I think we have the hotel voucher here somewhere. I'm not gonna sit through 9 minutes for this though.
Wasn't that the
Um,
one for a Sydney hotel if you
no,
listen
no, no.
to a
That was
timeshare
that
page?
was for any hotel in the country. That was for
We got
any
that for a wedding present, by the way. For a wedding present, someone gave us
some cheapo.
a free, yes, someone gave us one of those. It was a hotel voucher for a free weekend in one of the top tier Sydney hotels, like the really fancy ones,
Not
if
Sydney,
we
just
listened to
like
a
top tier
2 hour
hotels in the
timeshare
country.
presentation.
I know. I wasn't. No, this wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So your road to glory begins with. I'm going to guess if there's a May challenge, then you're going to be joining that. Otherwise, whatever online tournament comes in the future.
Mm.
There's also like the regular seasons of play. But yeah, the online tournaments to begin with. We'll report on that progress later.
Yay.
So yay,
Yay.
later. So let's go straight to IPL news because we're done with all the external headlines. Thanks for missing out on that, Lunik. All right, Chapter 2, Mission 3. The race to install detection boxes throughout the Challenger chain has begun, but progress is slow. However, effort values in learning is kicking into high gear, and numerous individual trainers are working together, working to getting their butts to complete the project. There's a chance that Siebold himself is impressed enough with the IPLers to assist, but will he? With just over a week to go, the chain's ability to act against possible disaster is on a high wire. Oh man, is this gonna work? Did you see the progress bar?
I
Have you
have not
seen the
seen the
IPL?
progress bar.
Do you want to go to the IPL and just look at the? I don't know if the Eon things have been updated, but no, they haven't. Um, if you look at the Mission 3 journal, which is in previous journal
Yep.
entries.
I'm just
Yep.
bringing it up.
So if you look at the number of red bullets versus the number of green bullets, that's the progress. That's where they're at right now.
Hold on. Why did I get any drop downs? I can't get to the IPL page.
Oh,
there it goes. Give me a second. Okay.
Okay. Do you HTML?
Yes, I hate HTML.
Okay. Found it?
Mission 3?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I've
Chapter
got it.
2, Part 1, Mission 3.
I
Okay.
see it. Yes, that is embarrassing.
They've got a week to go. Deadline is on midnight, May 3rd, AEST. Or the minute before midnight on May 3rd, AEST. So the literal minute before my birthday. I'm pretty sure Sanctuary Island's gonna get covered before the end because I can see Evil working their way through their collaboration, and they won't get credited until the collaboration's complete. So that's the thing. No one wants to protect the resort island. They've started covering some of the smaller islands as well. But we'll see how they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's got a direct impact on the next mission. So this could be problematic for them if they don't get at least decent coverage. Also, I'm going to point out that is the minimum. That progress bar right there, that is the minimum they need to get coverage. That is not the best scenario. That is the good scenario.
Okay.
So yeah, if they exceed that total, any other progress past that will appear in blue. But I think they haven't even gotten to the point where they've covered all the red stuff. So that's the thing. You will notice, by the way, that Anna Island is not in that list because it is a most dangerous island, and we don't let anybody there. Like we don't let anybody on there usually. Okay. So that's chapter 2, mission 3. Are you making anything for it? Is Yenna joining in somewhere?
Eventually, maybe.
You've got a week.
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm too busy doing things.
All right.
Things and stuff.
Things and stuff. Try not to starve. Okay. So next IPL headline is Project Reverence. This is big. We kind of announced stuff for IPLcast 24 last IPLcast regarding Reverence score. So later today, the first of the world building journals will be coming up on the IPL. It'll have a new skin and everything, so you can actually tell it's different. This
Hang on.
will also be replicated in Reverence. What?
You for a second. Start again. Start that sentence again.
Okay.
You just mentioned
So
the new skin, and then you cut out.
Okay.
Start again.
All right. So later today, the first of the world building journals will be coming up on the IPL. It's got a new journal skin and everything, so you can actually tell it apart. The IPL comes up. Yay! This journal, which will also be replicated in Reverence Score in 2 weeks' time, introduces players to the world and its various nations, hopefully giving anyone interested prompts for character creation. So, I mean, if you're eager to get into it, great, and this will probably help you. It's more a lore thing than anything to show you what we've got. So, if you're planning to join Reverence Score, and even if you're not, if you're just thinking about creating possible characters for the fun of it, feel free to discuss those characters in comments when the journal comes up. More journals will be coming up, mostly about classes and the really big adventuring organization in Reverence, which is the ECR. And additionally, a map of the world will be available sometime within the next 48 hours. So hopefully before the weekend, finishes, I've got the map. It looks great. I can't wait to show it to everybody. It will come up by the. I'm racing to get it up by the weekend. I think I'm gonna take a siesta and then I'm gonna get straight on it. So looking forward to getting that set up. Really, really excited about the putting the map. I'm really proud of the map. In fact, the map is probably going to show up here when I'm done. This would also be a great time to discuss the fact that we finished a contest on the world names, but we haven't actually discussed what to name the world.
Yeah, I think we keep intending to do that, and it just never happens.
Yeah, well, I think it's got to happen sooner or later, and there's no better time than now, I guess. Look, there are 11 names, one of which was still Sinna. So the names that came out were Jornada, Killarna, DR, Siat, Malarno, Aldhedge, Drakmir, Indria, Duosia, Dwala, Dwella. None of those, like, I mean, like, Jornada sounds good. DR sounds good. Drakmir sounds like a country. Aldhedge sounds like a town. Indria sounds like a country. Milarno sounds like a city. DR and Killarna sound like cities. So thoughts on these names?
They're good suggestions. I'm not going to say they're not, but it just none of them feel quite right, you know? Like, just considering the world that exists, and just the languages that you've got existing in all the cultures and stuff. One of those cultures would have named the world, so I can only think maybe thinking out which one would have done that, and then picking something that would sound like.
I'm going to guess. Well, look, it's the name, the original name of the world, which is Sinna, is a name. It was named by one of the larger countries in the Western continent. So, so that's where the name.
I don't like
comes
Sinna
from.
though. I don't like Sinna.
Yeah, I know. But you seem to, it's really weird when we bring the world name up that you're the vocal minority.
I know. I think I'm the only one that doesn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like my thoughts on it is that all else fails, just go back to Sinna, and you can just deal with it.
I feel like it just sounds too close to Sinner.
Is anyone going to complain though?
I am.
I know, but like I said, vocal minority.
I know.
It
Well, look, you
becomes
don't have
really.
to listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. If you really want to keep Sinner, you do
I'm
not
kind of
have to listen to me.
to you. I kind of do.
It's not like I'm gonna punish you for picking it. I'm just saying I personally don't like it.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like the. It's not like the. It's not like the name does. When we give the suggestion of the name, for the most part, it clicks. But yeah, it's just really weird that it doesn't.
I know you've been through me why you picked it, and it is actually very clever. It's very clever. I just don't like it. I don't think I can really give you any more of an explanation than that. Like, we've tried.
The reason why you don't.
At a restaurant and gone over this, but I think the final call is yours, whether or not you actually want to accommodate my dislike or not. But I'm just saying, you don't have to. I just personally do not like the name.
All right. So what
if
do
you want
you
to go
think?
with Sinner, Go
Should
with
the
Sinner.
name be should the name of the world be, let's just put this to rest, hopefully by the end of the weekend, because I need to name that map. Um, should it be called Sina? Sina. Let me know your thoughts if you've seen this, comment or anything posted on the IPL thing. We've got 2 people listening here. Stop sitting and eating popcorn and actually tell me. I mean, we've had this. That has been the working name of the world for ages, and ever since then taken to calling it the we've taken to calling it Dollar World, just because it's a variable thing, and I am not going to call it Dollar World.
No.
So we want to name it something else. The suggestions are amazingly great. We might actually use them for city names. Um, but yeah, I like. I mean, if anybody's got an opinion in it, I'd like to hear it. Because we've got one person who's clearly against it, but not for any rational reason. Um, and that's the honest truth about it, is that there's no rational. I don't think you have a rational reason why you don't like it. You just don't like it.
It just doesn't
Um,
gel with me.
yeah.
I do not find it at all pleasing to the ear or anything like that.
But hey, it's like, it's if you guys have any suggestions on what to call the world, or if you think Sina is a really great name for the world, let me know, because this is a thing. I'm rather desperate. That's the reason why I put up the contest. Lunix suggested banana, and I say no.
Hey, see, look. He agrees with me.
Okay.
He agrees with me.
Lunic has said, ever try just Googling things with Latin, you get some pretty cool yeah, the problem is that I study Latin. and, and it's kind of like Googling things just to get the name of it doesn't gel with me, because everything in Latin has a definition. I mean, yeah, it's a really weird thing. You don't want to call it a. The problem with Latin as well is, I think most modern languages, most modern Romance languages, are derivatives of Latin, which means that if you use something in Latin that is significant to the world form, a root word of that is going to pop up in people's heads when you say it out loud. That's the problem with using like parent languages as well. When you know that derivatives are already you've already got existing derivatives of a root word that you want to use, then it kind of becomes weird, because people will associate it with that instead. Ree
I suppose
suggested
if you
to.
pick the right word, but it's good. It
Yeah,
can't
but
be that
what
way
is,
with
like,
all words.
I mean, what's the right word for me versus the right word for you? Because I've named the world Sina, you don't like it, Ree doesn't like it. It's not like it.
I know.
Yeah, it's not like a. Um, it's not like a world name necessarily has to appeal to all people at all stages.
I know. I know.
Like, I know at least 3 or 4 different names for the giant flying piece of space rock we're standing on. Um, but yeah, it's like everybody generally agrees that Earth is is the name you put when you're describing maps, or you just call it the world. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Just calling it the world, or the known world, or something like that.
You could if you wanted to.
Okay, so until I get a giant, decent suggestion, call it shot die.
The world of Pokemon. That's great.
That is a shot straight out of episode 1 of the anime. Um, I refuse to name the world Bob.
Could call it Gary.
We, let's not call it Gary. Naming a world after the dog star kind of is dog. Um,
Okay.
I think we might. I'm going to. I think we might have to resort to calling it the. I think we might have to resort to calling it the known world at this point, just because it's well, it's better because it kind of gives the idea that there are more areas out there, and there are. I mean, just besides the two continents, we're talking about the upper and lower miasmas, the tundra tide, the water, the areas beyond the water wall, the areas beyond the lands and mountains. It's the known world. The thing that currently encompasses current Pokemon knowledge about where they live. That I would think is a good compromise solution.
I'm happy with that.
Okay. I'm expecting contrarians in the chat. I'm expecting contrarians to fire comments on chat. Okay.
What about Ecumene? Because that's Greek, like ancient Greek term for the known world.
What's the word?
Ecumene. I'm just literally just googled it and it came up on Wikipedia. There's also Caput Mundi or Thule, but like I haven't actually seen what those exactly mean.
Mundi. Oh man. Mundi or Mundo is the Latin for world. Caput Mundi means the capital of the world, or the head of the world, because caput is head.
I wouldn't call the world Mundi because that kind of has its own definition.
Mundi?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Latin, so it's pronounced Caput Mundi.
We can't use Thule. Apparently, that's Iceland.
You can't use
Norway.
what?
Thule is Norway. We can't use Thule because apparently that refers to Norway.
Yeah. You can't use Iberia because that refers to Spain. Spain and the region around that area. Generally avoid existing country names, existing region names. This is why it's hard, because there are a lot of reserved names already.
So you can use, I don't know how it's pronounced. You can always use Ecumene or Oecumene because apparently they're the same thing, just different spelling.
Oh yeah, Ecumene.
That's ancient Greek for the known world. That's an option. I don't know if I like that much either, but it's an option.
It's primarily cumbersome because it's ecumenism. I think is the yeah. The problem with ecumene is that it's used to refer. It's got a religious context as well. The word ecumenical uses it refers to the general communion of churches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the known world. I don't think anyone's got complaints about that.
I don't think we've gotten any major stuff. The known world implies that there is an unknown world, and that's how I like to keep it.
Okay.
It basically rests on the knowledge that they are aware about areas that exist. They are aware that areas exist. They just haven't gotten to them yet. Okay, so we'll call it the known world. I think we have reached some degree of consensus here. So let's go with our last headline as we're heading into the close, which is IPL Cast 25 streaming much earlier than normal. Because we're going to be away during the normal streaming hours of IPL Cast 25, we'll be doing another nightcast much earlier on the Thursday, the 7th of May, 9 p.m. AEST. You'll get the updated journal, etc., etc. We know it's kind of out of the way for most of our live viewers, but we hope that you'll forgive the odd scheduling hiccup. We are actually going to be away for quite a bit. We're away for 4 days, I think.
Roughly.
We won't. Yeah, we might not readily have access to both an internet connection and our streaming gear. So it's going to be problematic if we try and stream from a remote location. It's probably better if we we want to maintain a regular schedule of having an IPL cast available on the YouTube feed every 2 weeks. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stream early. If anything comes in over the weekend, I'll do a supplemental video at some point during the following week. Also, IPL Cast regular time slots may also change. It's always holding it at 2 p.m. AEST is really digging into our ability to function elsewhere. Will this mean that IPL Cast may be held earlier or on a different day? We've yet to decide. Probably earlier. We might just we might just crank it back a bit, because I remember the reason we went to 2 p.m. was to compensate for the time zone. So we might crank it back just a bit earlier in order to actually get the to get our time slots right. We need to be able to sync properly with the U.S. We need to be able to sync properly with our guys in Southeast Asia. So getting a time that is amenable to both is critical. We'll still be doing the occasional ones prior to the weekend, where we stream at a time favorable for our friends in the UK and Europe. But we'll do that as it goes. We'll announce it as it comes. But this might mean that we might pull back an hour or so. We have yet to decide. But IPL Cast 25, just letting you know, will be earlier. The Hangout link for IPL Cast 25 is already up on Google+. If you follow us on Google+, you would have already received a notification for IPL Cast 25. So you should be aware of what time it is. You should be able to give yourself a reminder. The usual IPL Cast 25 journal will be coming up, but the best place to actually catch all of this stuff, to learn when all the events are happening, is to go to our Google Plus page. Okay, and that covers all of our stuff right now. So if you're playing Pokemon Rumble World, don't forget to get your free Pokemon of piddling power ratios. I think most of these have a strength of no higher than 250. I think 230-ish is like the maximum I've seen from any of these.
I'm way past that.
Yeah, so they're oh, okay. Apparently, Ree says they're like 290, but piddling at this point. But I need them for Pokedex completion, so off I go. Anyway, all right. So enjoy. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. We'll see what developments happen during that time, and whether or not I get any more Mr. Boops on my on opening booster packs. We'll catch you on the next IPL cast. Till then, stay safe and good luck on Mission 3.
Say yes.